Good evening, folks, and welcome to another Townsville Stormwatch and surrounding districts video update. This the 12th of April 2014. Tonight, we're giving you a look at tropical cyclone Ita, and her future movements. So let's get into it. And what a difference 24 hours can make. Here is the latest forecast track map for tropical cyclone Ita, issued by the Bureau of Meteorology this afternoon at 5 p.m. And we can see that at present, or at 5 p.m. Today, Cyclone Ita was sitting just to the northwest of Cairns as a Category 1 system. It was expected earlier today that Tropical Cyclone Ida was meant to have been de-intensified into a low pressure system, but as you can see, the latest from the Bureau is that is not the case. And well, she's meant to make this southeasterly track down the coast past Innisfail, coming off the coast around Cardwell, and then continuing past Townsville. And by 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, that's Sunday, April the 13th, it is meant to be sitting off the coast in the Proserpine Bowen sort of area off the coast there. And then she continues to make this southeasterly track down towards Mackay by 5 o'clock Monday morning. And then at 5 p.m. Monday afternoon, she is meant to be right off the coast of Queensland and continuing in that southeasterly track. We have a look now at the radar images. This is courtesy of the Bureau of Meteorology, and this is the Townsville 512 composite radar. So this includes the Cairns radar as well. But what we can see here in this image is that the circulation appears to be around just to the north of Port Douglas at this time, and it's there's still a bit of an eye that you can see there, but it's not a very well defined eye at this stage. So that's where it is as of about 5:30 this afternoon. We can see just to the north there of Port Douglas. If we now have a look at the enhanced infrared imagery of this system, and we can see that here is the center of the system at this stage. It's well inland. The cloud that's coming from it, they're still getting a fair bit of height still left in the clouds, but nothing like it was as it was approaching the Queensland coast. And we can see that on this image that it is definitely adopting that southeasterly track. And we can see here on the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre's forecast track map for this system, and we can see that they are expecting it to continue to go inland. Then it starts to make this recurve back towards the coast and head in this southeasterly direction. It does get off land there a little bit, probably around the Townsville area, and then is expected to come back onto the land, and then finally coming off the land and heading into that southeasterly direction away from the Queensland coast. If we have a look now at the satellite imagery of this system, courtesy of the Bureau of Meteorology, and we can see that here the system is at the moment just slowly swirling around there, but not quite as intense looking as what it did when it was approaching the Queensland coastline. Certainly, a lot of its convectiveness has been diminished a lot since it hit the land, but as we showed you before in the Bureau of Meteorology's forecast track map, it's still keeping some of its structure now as a Category 1 system as it continues its track down the coast, and expected to make that southeasterly movement very, very shortly. Now, if we have a look at the microwave imagery, and this is basically piercing through all the clouds associated with the system, and just having a look at its structure, well, we can see that it's just a very big blob here on the coast of Queensland. There's no real sort of structure to the system at this stage, looking at this imagery, but still it's there as a feature. If we look at the visible imagery of the system, and what we can see here, and I'll just get my tools ready to see. We can see just in this area here that there is the slight hint of a center of circulation, um, that is swirling around on the coast, but it is very, very difficult to find, and not very strong at all at this point in time. Okay, it's time now to get into the models, and what we're looking at here is the European model, and it's saying that at 9 o'clock tonight, that tropical cyclone Ida is set to be just off the coast here between Cairns and Townsville, and looks like it may regain some of its structure as it comes off the coast there. Then, if we look now at midnight tonight, and Ida is expected to have gone fairly quickly more towards the Townsville area. Again, these winds around the system starting to pick up once again on its northern, northeastern, and southern side. Now, if we look at 6 o'clock Sunday morning, and Tropical Cyclone Ida is expected to have passed the Townsville coastline and now be sitting around in the Eyre region, and it's still packing some sort of strong winds. They're nowhere near destructive winds, nowhere near what Cooktown and places like that would have been experiencing last night, but still they are quite strong winds, and as you can see, they're wrapping around a lot of the system, but not quite all of it at this stage. Now, if we look for midday tomorrow, so midday Sunday, and we can see that Tropical Cyclone Ida is sitting just off the coast here near Bowen, and these winds have started to become a little bit more intense by this stage as well. We're now into our reds and our orange by this time as well, so it looks as if it's wanting to re-intensify again as it gets off the coast. 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. This is 6 o'clock Sunday evening, the 13th of April, and Ita has continued her track down just off the coast, and now is sitting near Mackay, and those winds are now almost reaching around the entire centre of this system. Some very, very even gale force winds here to its western side, with a gale force winds also to its eastern side, but they're not quite wrapping around the system at this stage, but still very much a tropical cyclone category 1 system at this time. And then we look at midnight on Sunday, and Ida has continued her push off the coast, off the Queensland coast, now sitting here between Mackay and Rockhampton. These winds, very interestingly, they're only gale force now here on its eastern side, whereas the winds on its western side have died off just a little bit. They're now probably only just gale force winds at this time. We look now to 6 o'clock Monday morning, and Ida continues to push herself in that southeasterly direction, now off the Rockhampton coastline, or a little bit north of Rockhampton, and its structure, it's still there, it's still definitely there, but something quite strange is going on with it, because as you can see, these winds, they're just not quite keeping the intensity all the time around the system. So very interesting. Probably a very weak Cat 1 system by this time. And at midday on Monday, we can see that she continues down just off the coast, just far enough to still be impacting the coast, but not as much as what she has been up in this Cairns and Townsville region when she came down from there. And we now look at 6 o'clock on Monday evening, and we can see the system is just pretty much following the coastline, but is far enough off the coastline to not really be causing too much damage by her winds. There are these strong winds here around the Sunshine Coast, Maryborough, Harveys Bay, Bundaberg region. But again, the strongest winds are around the centre of the system, which is well off the coast. We look now midnight Monday, and she seems to slow up quite a little bit as she hits this Gladstone sort of Bundaberg region, and just seems to just really just sit there for a few hours. And then come 6 o'clock Tuesday morning, we can see that she just continues to sit in that region, and just continues to spin around according to the European. And midday is when she really starts to move more in a easterly direction away from the coast of Queensland. Now, if we have a look at the Euro's prediction of how much moisture is going to be associated with this system as it tracks down the coast, and here we are at 9 o'clock Saturday night, and we can see that anywhere from about air through to about Rolling Stone, or maybe even further, could be expecting some shower activity from this system, especially in that Rolling Stone area. You can see a lot of red just right there associated with this system. Tracking now to 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and that moisture is now sitting very much so in this Townsville area down to about Bowen, with a lot or the heaviest part of the rainfall just off the coastline there of Townsville. At 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and we can see that the rainfall has now shifted south to now be centred over the Bowen region, maybe even reaching down as far as Mackay, with a concentration of the activity here in the Bowen area. Then Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the centre of activity is now sitting between Bowen and Mackay, where a lot of the heaviest rainfall will be, but anywhere from about Bowen down to between Mackay and Rockhampton could be seeing some moderate rainfall at this stage. And Sunday at 9 o'clock, that continues down the coast as the system continues to track just off the coastline, and is now centred between Mackay and Rockhampton, with a majority of the rainfall off the coastline. Monday night, or Monday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's now here in the Rockhampton and North, and the centre of its activity is quite small at this stage, but is just off the coast there. And then we look at 9 o'clock on Monday, and well, we can see that most of the rain activity is now moved offshore along with the system. Now, if we have a look at the GFS, because that was the Euro, we're now looking at the GFS model, and what we can see from the GFS is that at 9 o'clock tonight, that's 9 o'clock Saturday the 12th of April, they're predicting that the center of the system will be just in this Townsville region, and sort of more onshore than what the European had it at this stage, with very strong winds happening here to its eastern side out to sea. Now, if we roll through till 3 o'clock Sunday morning, the DFS is saying that the system continues to stay on land at this time and continues to just really follow the coastline. It's pretty much going for a trip along the coast, and is expected to now be between Townsville and Bowen. 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and the system, it's continuing its track down the coast, and now expected, according to the GFS, to be sitting between Bowen and Mackay. 6 p.m. Sunday night, things become a little bit more interesting with the system sitting off the coast now. It's come off the coast there between Bowen and Mackay, and seems to be developing those winds once again around the centre of its structure, and is now sitting off the coast of Mackay. And then midnight on Sunday night, and the system is it's it's kind of stopped its southerly direction, and is now just very slow moving to the east a little bit, according to the GFS. Now sitting between Mackay and Rockhampton. 6 o'clock Monday morning, and the system is now well off the Queensland coast, now near Rockhampton, east of Rockhampton, but not really having a lot of effect on the land by this stage. Now, if we look at the GFS's prediction of rainfall, and we can see that by 9 o'clock tonight, it is expecting that the centre of its rainfall will be just to the south of Townsville, but Townsville should be still receiving some quite moderate rainfall from this system by 9 o'clock, and it stretches right down through here to just north of Bowen. Going through now till 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and the precipitation is now centred here in the Bowen area, stretching from Mackay to about Ayr. 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and the system starts to take the moisture off the coastline, as it's centred here now between Bowen and Mackay. And 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, and by this time a lot of the moisture associated with this system is now offshore, as it sits here just to the northeast of Mackay. This is according to the GFS. Let's see what happens a little bit later on. 9 o'clock Sunday night, and it's certainly just now taken a lot of its shower activity offshore, and it continues to adopt that more easterly or southeasterly or east southeasterly direction of the system, as it seems to slow up a little bit by this time. Let's have a look now at the rainfall for the next few days, according to the Bureau of Meteorology. Here we are tomorrow. We can see that quite heavy falls are happening here just to the south of Tully, right through to just south of Townsville, and with a very small intense system happening here just to the north of Ingham. But really anywhere from Cairns right down to about Bundaberg could be expecting some moderate falls on Sunday. Looking now on Monday, and we can see that a lot of that moisture has now shifted southwards, and we're now looking at anywhere from about or just north of Bowen, so it could even be the Ayr region, or maybe just south of Ayr, right down through to around the Bundaberg area is now meant to be experiencing some moderate falls with a lot of the moisture and a lot of the precipitation has now kind of moved offshore off the Queensland coast. And then on Tuesday, we can see that pretty much we're not expecting much rainfall on Tuesday whatsoever. Maybe around this Bundaberg, Gympie kind of area might experience some moderate showers, but nothing like what they would have experienced the couple of days before. And back up here in the peninsula area, we can see some more shower activity starting to come about, and also around just south of Cohen area could also be experiencing some increased shower activity. And then on Wednesday, pretty much anything from Cyclone Ita has moved offshore away from the Queensland coast, so no more moisture from that system whatsoever. And we just see a re-intensification of shower activity here on the Western Peninsula area between Weipa and Karawama, and also in the Cape Melville Cohen sort of area could also be experiencing some an increase in shower activity as well. So that's pretty much it for the precipitation from Cyclone Ita. We now have a look at the current wind surface level of Cyclone Ita, and we can see that still there is this very distinct circulation around this centre here, with some quite strong winds happening here out at sea, but not really happening here on around on land at all with this system. But as you can see, there is still that centre of circulation happening there on land as it continues its track down the coastline. So, folks, that's about all the time. That's about all the time that we have for tonight. And just a reminder that Tropical Cyclone Ita is expected to be a Category 1 cyclone as it does pass the Townsville coastline. So please do stay safe, especially with the moisture that could come from the system. The winds probably won't be that strong, certainly nothing like what they were up in Cooktown, but still it's going to be a category 1 system, so you just need to be aware of that and put into place any preparations that you might need for some quite strong winds from the system. So thanks for watching tonight, and our next cyclone video update will be tomorrow evening. We're going to continue following this system right through until it moves out of our area of interest, or it dies out, whichever happens first. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support our work we do for you, please do take the time to hop onto our Facebook page, Townsville Stormwatch and Surrounding Districts, and click on our PayPal tab under our cover photo, and donate some money towards the work that we do here for you. So thanks for watching tonight, and good night.